Not much going on today. It's a rainy day, so just
Yep,
stuck in the house.
same here.
hmm Got our airsoft on yesterday before anything happened, so that was good.
Mm. Yeah, it was nice yesterday.
Did you play?
No,
Uh,
it was nice out.
uh,
Yeah, no, I haven't I don't know if you guys know this. Um I've only taken care of the channel, editing, reviewing the guns. So I haven't gone to play with these guys.
oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought you played and everything. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I was so the whole reason I started the channel cuz I was, paralyzed. I was laid up in the house.
hmm
Yeah, so all these guys started playing and I started filming, and then I'd go out here and shoot the guns with them. I'd test the guns and do all the reviews and stuff. But I haven't been I've been to a couple events with them, but I only filmed.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
realize that.
I followed them around and filmed,
hmm
and so my experience is coming like when I'm talking with people on here is coming from my paintball experience, background when I've played, because I played a lot of paintball after the military, and and then of course what we do here, shooting around here.
hmm
But the mill sims and stuff, they've gone and I edit all their videos.
Oh, okay. Man,
Yeah.
that works out good for everybody then.
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
got they got play and you do the editing.
Oh yeah. So I would take care of all their, you know, multiple hours of
hmm
gameplay footage. They'd drop it off and hit me up with that. So yeah,
Hey,
it's
hey.
I haven't even like I right now, even now, I can move around. I can go to work. Uh
hmm
but I'm very slow and I can't even walk fast.
hmm
So like if I had to cross the street, a busy street, it wouldn't happen. Hey, what's up, brother? Welcome.
Hey,
Do you have a headset you could put on?
I did get a new
Or
mic. I don't have a headset. Is that all right?
yeah, it'll
Okay.
be a little echoey, but yeah, or earbuds or something. But yeah,
He's got his
yeah, well,
fancy camera that follows him around the room when he moves.
it does. Look at that. That's cool.
I might have a headset. Give me 1 second, all right?
Yeah, yeah. So I've been yeah, like I said, I can't even walk fast. In fact, if I walk on uneven terrain, I'm even slower because from my knees down, my legs don't work right, my feet don't work right. I can't catch my balance, and I'll fall in like 2 seconds.
Oh man, well, sorry to hear that. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't know you had that going on.
yeah,
That makes playing airsoft, yeah, pretty
yeah,
not
difficult.
happening. Yeah.
Well, even like I can handle some of the airsoft guns that are mostly polymer, but
hmm
I don't have my hand strength back. So gripping uh, like a real steel gun like we have, the AR-15s and the AKs and stuff. I cannot safely manipulate those guns. So if somebody hands me a gun, like my boys are out, if we're out shooting, like at a range, uh, I can shoot it, but to clear the weapon, I don't even have enough finger strength to pull the bolt back on a real steel gun. My finger slips off. I can't grip it.
hmm
So I have to hand it to them to clear the weapon. So
Wow. They do like physical therapy and OT to try to get back
on my
to no.
own,
Uh huh.
yeah, yeah. I don't like doctors, man. I just don't like going to any kind of medical stuff. So yeah, it's been a process.
Mm.
Yeah, I just caught the tail end of that. It sounds like injury caused all that
Illness.
illness.
So yeah, I feel like I've talked about it so much. I don't mind talking about it. Just
It's just
most
repetitive, right?
yeah, it's repetitive. So
I
because it's
get
been
you.
going on for like 5 years. So 5 years ago, I was one of those guys like after the military, never got sick. Never went to the doctor. They're like, oh, you need physical. Fuck you. I'm not going to the doctor. You needed, you want a flu shot? Nope. I had enough shots in the military. So I never went to the doctor ever. And I was healthy. I was in shape. I worked out all the time, like 4 or 5 days a week. And I had a physical job as well. I worked in factories, like maintenance on machines, climbing up and down, the back of machines, like extruders, plastic extrusion, climbing under them. I was pretty flexible, squeeze under machines, stuff like that. And, anyway, so, and then without warning, my hands stopped working right. My feet stopped working. I could barely walk. And then, that was a Monday. By Thursday, I couldn't walk.
Damn, man.
So it's an autoimmune disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's like Lou Gehrig's disease.
Okay.
So they don't know what causes it, but anyway. So the first time I got it, I refused all treatment because I asked the doctor. I was like, "Is this something I can get better on my own without this treatment?" He said, "Yeah," because the treatment wasn't guaranteed to work. So it was like. I said, well, what's the chances of this thing working? And he was like 50-50. He was pretty honest, he's pretty open with me. And I said, well, I don't want it. So I went home. That was in November years ago. And then by March, I was able to walk again. And I started working really slowly. And then I slowly got better. And then 2 years to the week, it happened again. And it was worse the second time. So I went to hospital. They did all this stuff. So this time I took the treatment, and that led to a bunch of other problems. Blood clots they caused and all kind of shit. I swelled up to, 330 pounds.
Oh, wow.
They had me on steroids and all kind of shit. And I was pretty depressed, to be honest. And I don't get sad when I get depressed. I get angry. Like pretty much anything that happens negative, I just get angry.
Yeah.
So I was just, I was angry all the time. But anyway, that's how this channel started, in case you guys didn't know. As a result of me being laid up, it was either I was going to kill myself or find something positive to put my time into. And, I was tired of asking for help, being laying in bed. So I was like, I'm going to start some YouTube channels. So I ended up starting like 3 of them before I started this one, the Airsoft one. And that is what I put my time into. Because I could only sleep like 2 hours a day, being on these steroids and laying around and shit. And my mind was going crazy, man. I love to read, but I couldn't hold my phone like laying in bed. I couldn't hold it long enough to read, a full page. Yeah. My hands would give out. I couldn't hold the weight of a regular book. So, and then I would try to play video games. I couldn't hold the controller, but maybe like 30 seconds at a time. So,
man. That's rough.
Oh, bro, telling you, when I was able to get up out of bed and walk down here, it's just down the hallway to this room, my office, and use a mouse. At first I couldn't use the mouse, but maybe like 10 to 15 seconds at a time because I couldn't lift my fingers up. Or, because my finger would rest on there, I couldn't lift it, and it kept pressing the button. I'm like, fuck, I didn't want to click on that. Yeah. But so it was a long process. But I kept working at it, and then started, this channel, and I got into editing. And once I started editing, I was like 100%. Okay, here, let me learn all this shit. Then we started the website and all that. The same stuff I talked to you about, John, before, with learning all that about how, the website and the YouTube and getting, found online, all that kind of shit. But anyway, that I had all that time to do it because I was stuck here and going nuts. So
I'm glad you found it, man. I'm glad you found something that you pour your energy into. Because I mean, especially being an active guy previous to that, right? Like you just want to do stuff. I bet.
Oh, bro. What was frustrating? Being angry like that when I didn't have the physical ability to get my frustrations out. Like I would want to do like, even like something like that, I couldn't do it. I couldn't clench my fists. I was like, bro, I mean, I really, really, started feeling for some of the guys that get paralyzed, like in an accident or in war. And I was like, holy fuck, man. Yeah. And then when I started seeing some of these videos of guys that I had followed before, like maybe military guys, whatever, and had a leg blown off, whatever, man, I appreciated what they went through and are still, made it through and are positive. I was like, they were real inspiration. So, but yeah, anyway, well, the way this conversation came up, Gibbs, is he asked me if I went and played yesterday because it was nice out. Yeah. And I said, no, I haven't played with these guys yet. So my only experience with Airsoft is what we've done on our channel, like reviewing the guns. So I've been able to shoot the guns, as we test them out and have fun with that. But I haven't been able to go actually play with these guys. I've gone to a couple events, but just to film. And
spectating film.
Yeah. And it's only been at the CQB field because it's flat surface where I can walk on without falling on my fucking face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you found your outlet, man. That's great that you found something that you're enjoying, good at, and
thank you.
Put your energy into.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, like I said, I don't try to talk about it, but it's connected to how this channel started and how this whole thing started here. And then the podcast started because these guys got busy. We didn't have a lot of content, and I wanted to do something with keep posting videos. And I kind of ran out of ideas. I'm like, well, shit, I can talk to somebody, let's get on here and record it.
Yeah. Well, dude, glad you did it. Glad we met, man. I mean,
me too.
Silver linings,
I'm saying, bro, and I love meeting new people. And I was telling my wife today, cause I did a podcast at 12 o'clock today with a girl in the UK. And I was telling her, I was like, this is probably one of my favorite things to do now. And recently on the channel is, cause I've met so many different people through this venue, being able to do this, as long as somebody has internet or cell service, there's no barrier.
Yeah.
The location barrier is gone.
Yeah. John and I, ever since we met and talked to you, he and I just randomly bring you up and we start talking about hey, remember you talked to him about this? You talked to him about this? And it's kind of like we're old friends, even though we've only chatted that one time. And then John and I talk about you. So
that's cool, man. I feel the same way. When I meet somebody on here and we talk, when I get off each of you guys, when I got off the podcast, I'm like, damn, I go out there and, get a drink or something. I tell my wife, this guy was so fucking cool. And I'll start showing them the videos or their their Instagram page. And it's been a huge blessing for me, man. Big time. Just, meeting guys like you.
Yeah. Well, it's likewise, man. Feelings mutual.
Yeah, man. Awesome. You put yourself out there, you never know what you get. Make a lot of new friends, a lot of like-minded people will find you. Yeah. So.
And that's kind of how John and I met too, right? Randomly at Airsoft. I don't know if you guys talked about that. I can't remember when if you talked about it or not, but yeah, John and I was at a public, just public field play. John and his girlfriend were there. Me and my girlfriend were there. You probably played a few games, John. I'd played a few games probably at that point.
Yeah.
And we just happened to, have our gear sitting at tables kind of close. And we kind of looked at each other and we could tell about the same age, probably about the same mindset. And then John talked to me. He was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" and it just boom. Became friends from there.
Yeah, I think you had a cool shotgun, and I was coming over there and started talking to you about the shotgun. So.
Yeah.
I just messaged you guys a couple days or yesterday or something, or a couple days ago, this cupcake thing, bro. It is. I'm telling you, I showed my wife the video, and then I was like, "This is the coolest game mode I have seen, I think ever."
Yeah, it was so
really
fun.
Really fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah, that's his idea. Yeah. It was fun.
I did. I like to sit around and come up with different game modes. And my friend Ben, the guy that made the Juggernaut outfit, right? It was his birthday, and I was sitting around, and he's got a a younger kid. You know, they couldn't get vaccinated. They've got some family members that are immunocompromised, so they've been kind of trying to distance a little bit. And so I wanted to just come up with something fun for him because he's been wanting to use this Juggernaut outfit for so long. Dude, back, I think it was 2018, 2019, Ben and I went to a wedding in Arkansas, and he was like, hey, man, I've been building a Juggernaut outfit. We passed by an Army surplus store. Do you mind if we swing in? I'm like, we're at a wedding, but if you want to,
absolutely.
Yeah. We went in and he bought some of the gear for it. Like he bought it, put it in his bag, and then as we're flying back, I'm like, we are going to get flagged. He's got like military gear in his bag, and we were just two random dudes, but made it
the
back.
Juggernaut suit is Air Force.
yeah, exactly. But flash forward a couple of years, he finally gets to use it, right? And it was on his birthday, and so I just wanted to do something kind of fun for him. And I sat around thinking about that kind of gameplay that we could do with him having to deliver cupcakes to his birthday party as the Juggernaut, and I thought it'd be funny. So they humored me, and we did it, and I think it was fun. John, was it fun?
Yeah, I had a blast. You know, it's not every day someone builds a Juggernaut suit, so I didn't even know he had one. I think you, me, and Joe were texting, and I threw out the idea. I was like, let him be a Juggernaut or something like that. And then one of y'all was like, well, he actually has a suit.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this guy's a serious Juggernaut. So
he's not messing around.
Yeah, it worked out perfect. And that suit was badass.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
He did. We didn't use it in the cupcake gameplay, but if you see the tubes going up the side, and he's got these two little boxes. He did all that himself, and what it was is their LED lights, so that if we played a different game mode, he could be switched on which team he's on. It would light up red or blue according to what team he was on.
Oh my God, that's cool.
Yeah, and he did all the wiring himself. When he was in high school, he worked in a light factory building lights. Just meticulously.
And little did he know he was training to build his Juggernaut outfit.
Yeah, it's like
holy cow.
Yeah, it's Slumdog Millionaire story there, kind of crazy background on how he got it, but
yes,
turned out good.
But he needs to fix some of the chinks in his armor. Apparently, he's got a few little openings where BBs can sneak through because he has some little welts and things on his face.
If you watch the video again, you'll notice a few times like carrying the cupcakes like this, and then he starts doing like this. It's because there's like a little
shot,
there's just a little gap, shit. And BBs were finding their way into the spot, but he just kind of covered it up and kept going.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. I didn't know we could actually hit him. Like there was one time I went running up, and it's in both of our videos. Like I went running up on him, just shooting him from like a few feet away. I was like, "You're a Juggernaut with armor." I didn't know I could actually shoot through. So yeah, I felt kind of bad about that. But hey, it gives him something to work on, I guess. Work on the suit a little more.
Yeah. It was pretty funny too. After we played, he was like, "Man, I thought I was gonna be able to take it easy as a Juggernaut and just kind of like slowly walk around, maybe shoot a couple of people." Little did I know I was gonna be carrying around 50 pounds of extra weight trying to deliver a cupcake on my birthday.
Was the cupcake thing like a last minute kind of thought in that, or what?
I had thought about it. God, John, when did I text you? Probably like 2 or 3 weeks before we played, maybe.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, I have an idea." Like I was just kind of sitting around brainstorming it, right? And I was like, "Does this sound like it would work for you guys?" And I used John and World War II Airsoft guy as the soundboard. And they were like, "Heck yeah, it does." And so the day before I went and bought the cupcakes. So they were fresh. You got to have fresh cupcakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll take the BBs better when we're shooting them.
Right. Stale ones, they'll just bounce off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man, that's cool.
But Ben, he had to be exhausted. And like when I was editing the footage, you're seeing kind of the whole thing, not just the clips we put in there, but you could see, I mean, yeah, he's running all over the place with all that gear on. Yeah. And I texted him as I'm sitting there editing. I was like, "Man, watching this, you had to be worn out, didn't you?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I was so tired."
Yeah, because I think that game mode we condensed it down. John and I did, obviously, for the video, but I think we probably played for 45 minutes. And so that's Ben, with all that extra weight running back and forth for 45 minutes. He was basically doing like suicide sprints and getting shot.
And here's the kicker. The way it worked is he'd start at his spawn and have to, get to our spawn to deliver the cupcakes. He only made it one time. He only made it through one time with 2 cupcakes in his hand that were all smushed to pieces. So it was just run out there, run back. It had to be frustrating.
And we had 24 cupcakes because I thought he would make it back and forth a couple extra times, but he didn't take his sidearm, and that would have made it because if he had his sidearm, he could have like popped some people off as he was going, but he didn't have it. Okay. So all he could do was just kind of like curl up and run.
Oh yeah, that would have helped him a lot if he had a gun. I didn't know that was part of the plan. Yeah, definitely. He was defenseless.
Yeah, I saw him like going like this with the cupcakes, like trying to.
The
cupcake shuffle. Yeah.
Right.
It was funny too because after a couple of times he did it, I was like, dude, your only weapon. I just kind of made a joke. I was like, your only cupcake, and I don't know I don't even know if he actually heard me because he couldn't hear anything half the time unless you were standing right in front of him.
Yeah.
But just a few minutes later, he goes sprinting down the field, and you see the one guy, Joe, World War II Airsoft guy. He comes running out, and Ben just smashed the cupcake into his face.
Shit.
Yeah, and it was all good. Like he didn't hurt everything, but Ben just goes blah, and blasted him with the cupcake. It was so good. It was so good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I had a great time watching it, man. And then the drone footage too. So how did you? That was your drone?
It was my drone.
How did you drone and play?
I didn't. I just did the drone. I threw my dead rag on. The girl in the video, Kira, in my video, I took my video equipment and I stuck it on her. I was like, hey, go run up in there.
Dude, I thought it was her doing it too. I didn't realize that.
No, yeah, it was my stuff because my girlfriend was going to do it that day, but she wasn't able to make it. She had some other stuff to do. And so I got up there and we had played a couple other games earlier in the day, and Kira was just getting up in it. She kept running up in stuff, and I was like, all right, here you go. Bam, threw my stuff on her and let her get up in there. I did the drone. She was running the cameras, and then John and World War II guy gave us cameras shots as well.
Yeah, it worked out great.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool event, man. And to have both you guys have the footage from the same event.
Yeah.
Worked out good.
Yeah, John had some pretty cool footage. I really liked the 360 camera that he had where, flipping it back around.
Yeah, it's really smooth too. Like it just, it looks at me and then whips back around, see what's in front of the gun. Makes for some pretty cool shots. We experimented this week. We played yesterday. I had a friend with me, and it was great having him to lug the camera around. And we would just go set it up in the middle of the field somewhere. So it's kind of viewing the whole game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that picked up. It should be pretty interesting. But it's nice having all these different cameras and all these different people. Mm-hmm. We're all working together and putting everything together and making much better stuff when we're working together than doing them on our own.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have been able to make nearly as good of a video had John not give me the footage because it just being able to switch between them just makes it awesome,
Yeah, big time. Well, too, I think it helps when both you guys film and edit your own videos. So when you edit, it gives you that different perspective. Like, oh, next time I need to put the camera this way, or whatever, or make sure I'm, wherever it's at on your helmet, and it really, that way you guys can get better at, the next time you go play, where to put the camera, how to, maybe what shots to get, that kind of thing. But I was going to ask you, how did you get that 360 camera? Did you have it mounted on you somewhere?
On my gun. I had it. Yeah, I had it on my gun, and on the front of my gun. Yeah, like a lot of people will run a small camera on their gun, looking back at them.
Yep.
And so, yeah, one lens is looking at me and the other one's looking in front. So if you do that, you really don't need a helmet cam because, I mean, it's doing the job of two cameras looking at you and looking in front of you.
That is crazy. I was amazed at how much of the gun you could see too.
Yeah, I guess I had it kind of farther back on it. Yeah.
It looked cool.
Well, here's the downside of it. I'll show it. It's over here.
I was gonna say,
look how gigantic it is.
Oh shit!
I mean, here's my mouse. It's a regular size mouse. I mean,
it's like you're running around. Yeah, you're running around with a little spaceman attached to you.
I was just gonna say, it looks like a spaceman.
Like, this is the new setup, and this worked well. Like, instead of putting it on my gun, and I'm kind of gonna alternate putting it on my gun some and doing this, mixing up the shots, but putting it on this bigger base tripod, and we were hanging it on trees and everything.
Yeah.
But just going and sticking it out somewhere in the field and letting it do its thing instead of me lugging this around for the whole game was nice. But yeah, just mix it up, do that a little bit, put it on my gun a little bit. It's a pretty cool tool. It's just a big tool. It's ginormous.
It's fun. I have one shorts video up now, and I got another one I think coming out this Thursday, where I had my 360 camera on my rifle. And in both instances, the cool thing about it was I set my rifle down and pulled my pistol, and I moved away from the rifle, and I wasn't even thinking about it. But then after the fact, because it's 360, I was still able to get what I did, and from a third person perspective.
Oh shit!
The camera looked up.
Yeah, and so it was pretty neat. And at one point in the other shorts video that I posted, I set the gun down, and then I pulled my pistol, and I was at a staircase, and I shot. Got somebody, and then a bunch of people started coming up, and I ran past the camera. But again, because it's 360, I was able to pan that camera after the fact and catch me over here. And then I did a split screen because I was able to catch me shooting and them coming up the steps. So it was it was just so cool. Whenever I realized that I got it, because at first I it was whenever I first got that camera, and I was like, I guess I didn't really get much. And I was like, no, wait, I got everything. It's all on there. So.
Cool.
Dude, that is cool.
Yeah.
That gives me an idea then, because I just signed up for my first milsim. So
nice.
It's going to be Stonebreaker, which is in April here at GTI. And that's the one these guys have been going to since they started. So I signed up for a press pass. So,
nice.
Yeah, I mean, because I was like, I'm on here talking. I've been doing these videos for 2.5 years. I want to get out here and play. I'm tired of just shooting in the backyard and shit. And, but I was like, I cannot run with you guys. I'll be sitting there behind a tree the whole time. And, no, I'll just be an easy target, and I'll just get you guys shot. So I'll do the press pass. So we were talking about on the porch a couple weeks ago. Johnny was over here, JP from our channel, and we're out here smoking cigars and drinking, and they were talking about it. I was like, damn it, I need to go with you guys, for real. And Johnny's like, well, you can get a press pass. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to get one. He's like, all right, so we're sitting there bullshit. I said, let's do it right now. So I brought him in here on my computer. I was like, show me where to go. Let's do. So he starts clicking through, all that stuff. And I said, yep, hit the buy button. Do it right now. he turns around and looks at me like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, man. Hey, I'll walk slow, but whatever.
But you want to be there.
Yeah, I'll film whatever I can. So I want to get one of those cameras before I go. Yeah. I was just talking to Chris today about, okay, what can my setup be? Maybe I'll wear something on my on my head, and I'll have my phone, that I usually have a contraption to do a pan around or whatever. But that's what I got to get right there.
Yeah, the 360 camera adds a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're not crazy expensive. You just get it right on Amazon too. So
yeah. Now, what is there a certain brand you guys have, or is there just one type that's out right now, or what?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys recommend?
John, go ahead, John.
Oh, it's Insta360 is the one that we have, and I guess they just come out with their new version, the 1X2. So you can get that, or you could probably get the 1X, the original one. a bit cheaper since the newer one's out, and they both do the pretty much the same thing. I don't know what the other one really has much better than the first one, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got the 1X. John's got the 1X2. Not enough numbers in the title. 360 1X2. we can send you a link after. We can send you a link after this. Yeah, and the cool thing is they give you free software for the editing, because you gotta edit the video in their software into your other video editor after you do your thing in there. Yeah,
there's a little bit more to the editing because of that, an extra step, but it's worth it. It gives you some really cool shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't mind the extra editing thing. Most of our gameplay videos, my computer's slow enough to where I have to break them up into chunks. Mm-hmm. So I have to load the whole section in there, the whole video in, and then split it one or two ways.
Yeah.
Or like 3 parts or whatever. Delete the other ones, export that first one, then load it back in just so I can work on it. Because as you start making cuts, the computer gets slower and slower. Because I try to do, listen, the first time they came back, I'm like, yep, load all this shit in here. I got enough space, whatever. I have an 8 terabyte hard drive I use. And I'm like, I put it in the editing program, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of video. I'm just like, put it in there, let it do its thing for 2 hours for it get ready, optimize or render.
You go take a nap, go watch a TV show.
I mean, I put it in there. I'm like, I knew it was going to take a while because I'd already, kind of experienced some of that. And then when I came back later, I started editing. I'm like, okay, this ain't bad. And then each cut I started making, I got about halfway through, like maybe one section of their GoPro video, and it starts loading. Every cut I made, it would go loading for like 10 seconds. Then the next cut for like 20 seconds. And then just on and on. I was like, oh, shit. So I delete everything, chunk it out, and then just load those back in and work on them as I could,
Yeah. I had a similar problem when I did the Balahack Z4 video.
Yeah.
Because I had my footage. I had some of John's footage. I think I had my girlfriend's stuff, and I think I had somebody else's stuff in there too. I can't remember, but it was 3 or 4 hours of video, but it was times 4, and I had stacked them all on. I wasn't thinking about it, and so I dragged the first one in, and then I dragged the next one in, and the next one, and the next one, and then I got the pinwheel of death on the Mac. It just started doing this because I stacked them all on top of each other because my intent was sync them up and then just do cuts, and I was like, that's not going to work. I can't do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to have one of those super powerful Mac, whatever they do, when they do like gaming programming or something like that.
Yeah.
Coding.
Yeah.
And a tough thing too with doing that, especially with doing everybody else's footage, is you don't really know what you got. Like, you got to go through all that. I mean, your gameplay, you maybe can remember a little bit what you did that day and know what games were good and everything, but then you start getting everybody else's footage too. You have no idea what they did. You got to watch all of it to see what's in there.
You know what I've always been worried about? I haven't said this to you, but like when I give you my gameplay video, I've always worried that you're going to watch it and be like, what the hell is he doing? Like, why? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why do they do that?
Yeah, critique the gameplay.
It's terrible. Why is he on my team?
Critiquing your tactics.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Shot tactics, judging my tactics.
Well, I saw one of your videos. It was like you went over there to this one spot and you said something about having to switch hands to the left hand or something, and I was like, oh sweet, you just showed me a new spot on the map because I'm left-handed.
You're a lefty. Yeah.
I went over there yesterday when we played. I went and checked that out. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, Iraq, there's a spot where it's a really good lane and it's super hard to get shot from if you post up, but it's a left-handed shot, and with my bolt action rifle, I shoot, and then I was like, what do I do? John's just over there. What about it?
That's my side.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That is cool. Did you record yesterday's game too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we definitely
I
did.
don't know when I'll get around to editing it, but it's in there somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah, we tried a game mode, another one that we had played before. It was I called it Discover the Truth. It was, do you remember, was it 2018, 2019 when everybody wanted to storm Area 51? You remember that?
Yes.
It gave me an idea, and I was like, well, what if we have the government protecting the truth? And I bought these little inflatable aliens. They're like about this big, and it's kind of like a capture the flag, but there's 3 teams. You got the government, and then you had like the weeb civilians, and then you had like some foreign government. All 3 teams are against each other, and the government starts off with the aliens, and then everybody else has to try to attack in and get an alien, and it's a timed game where at the end of time, whoever has the most aliens wins. So it could end in a tie. I did 3 aliens. It could be, everybody gets 1, or somebody finishes with 1, somebody finishes with 2, or everybody, or the government wins, or somebody gets all 3. It's pretty fun, but
that sounds awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. The crazy thing though, the first time we played it, it was before I had YouTube, and it was really cool. I think everybody tied. Everybody finished with an alien. The government did, and the other 2 teams. This time, both of the government slaughtered the 2 teams. Like we didn't get any aliens, right? Did you guys get any, John?
No, I never even saw an alien. Like I was fighting the other team. I was fighting the other team the whole time. I think the other 2 teams were fighting each other the whole time, and you guys just kind of picked us off.
Yeah, because I think John and I were on the 2 teams, and the government was the other team, and John and I were on opposite teams. And whenever we first started for my team, I was like, look, what we should do is we should get that team to break up, so that there's not as many of them just rushing the government. So 2 of us went over and started attacking your team, John. That was our strategy. And then we sent everybody else toward the government, and they got wiped out because the government was doing awesome. And so we kind of distracted and got their team to leave a couple of people behind so that we could all go in force and get in. And eventually I got inside. I shot 2 people, and then this one guy had his little brother with him. He's probably like 8 or 9. And I shot him, and I didn't know that his friend was in there too, who was also like 8 or 9. I thought I had cleared it out, and I bent over to get an alien, and I just took like a string of BBs in the butt, and I stood up, and that kid goes, "Gotcha!"
Shot in the rear by an 8-year-old.
He protected the truth.
I hope you turned around and got him saying "gotcha" on camera.
I did too. I got to go back through it. I hope I got it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think, Gibbs, you and I were talking about that on our podcast. You were telling me about that game thing. And we were talking about the anniversary of it. I think is in September. Because wasn't that in September they were planning on doing that?
Yeah, it was.
So if you do that, we'll definitely have to. I will make the trip up there wherever if you're going to do it at that park there.
It's on.
Yeah, I'll be down.
It's on.
Truth seeker, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, we were talking about like we need to do some like event type stuff at our the once a month when our group gets together, make some more like special events like that, and then invite guys like you and other folks up to come play with us. So yeah, I'd love to have you guys up and have some fun with us.
Absolutely. I mean, this cupcake thing, bro, was like such a good idea, and you guys had enough people there to make it fun.
Yeah.
That is, you could definitely come up with some different game modes and that you guys are doing, and have some good ideas like that. I mean, that is, it's way more fun than just the, team deathmatch kind of thing.
It is.
Because the first time you play, like when I played paintball, like, oh, it's fun. We just kept doing it. And after like the 10th time, we're like, what else can we do?
Yeah, how can we mix this up a little bit? Right?
Yeah. Because, you switch teams, because it was just us guys originally, like me and my buddies, playing on my friend's grandparents' property. Mm-hmm. But once, we started going to fields and stuff, but there wasn't a whole lot of people that would show up, So it was difficult to get a big game where, we never had like 50 people ever. It was all like, 20 or less. So we never had, it was just all team deathmatch in different areas on the field, different maps. But, and then we'd play one round and then we'd be like, okay, that team got annihilated. Let's put somebody better on that team and switch it up, kind of make it even. But after you do that, 10, 15 times, you're still looking for some other type of thing. There was one game we played, one of the guys from the field took us back. They had just got done kind of modding this other part of the field. They had like a fort built. So it was like a lookout tower kind of. It was only like 15 feet up. But they put 2 Tippmann 98s together, these paintball guns. Bolted them together with like a big spacer in between. Made like a double-handed machine gun. Yeah, turret. Yeah. And they both had their hoppers, and we had a big, bucket of, with all the pods of paint in there. And so you'd start running out, you'd dump it in there, and you'd stand up there. And it was basically like you against everybody. Yeah. So they all had to come from this one area, and this thing swiveled like everywhere. So, and then it would say go, and you're just ta 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 ta. You're trying to get both, going it and just, they're both separate and single triggers, but it was so much fun.
I bet, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah. People get done with that because they're, the paintballs, airsoft, you get welts, but no one can see them until after. You like pull up your sleeve, like, oh, see. Yeah. But paintball, man, they start rushing and they get pelted with 20 paintballs. It's everywhere.
You see it.
Yeah. They're like, okay, round 2. They're wiping everything off.
It's funny where we play. It's a paintball and airsoft field. And even if you're playing airsoft, you come out with paint all over you because the people that played the field just before you, they shot the walls and stuff, and then you're leaning against the wall, or you're crawling.
Oh yeah.
And
I didn't think about that.
John and I come out looking like we were playing paintball just because we've been crawling through the paint,
Yeah, I was going to check myself before I put my book bag on and stuff to not get it all over my pack. But yeah, we almost ran into the paint. Like there was a paintball match in the field next to us yesterday, the last game, and we kind of were running into their game a little bit right there at the start. But
this is switch games. This switch what you're playing.
Yeah, like let's not get shot up by paintballs, guys.
Do they have like a net? One of those golfing, they put on the golf course, driving ranges, whatever. Do they have a net separating those two?
Not between those two, they don't.
Not those parts, no.
Yeah, because sometimes they will combine those two fields.
Gotcha.
Sometimes they separate them, and I think that's probably one of the only times I've ever had that issue there, John. What about you, where the teams were kind of
I've never been right on top of the paintball like that before.
It'd be funny to be standing. Hey, you look to your guy to tell him, like, hey, run over here, and you get face planted with a, it just goes all yellow.
What happened?
I signed up for it. This is why I play airsoft.
Yeah.
You're like, you better call your hit.
That reminds me. Yesterday, my girlfriend was telling me how there was this one game mode we played. Where we were in this one building. It's called the Hotel. It's basically a 2-story building with like long hallways. And we were playing this version. It was a version of Team Deathmatch, but it kind of works like dodgeball, where like if I get shot, I leave, but then my next teammate comes in. It's kind of like a tag-in system.
Oh, yeah.
So like we had like 12 people on each team, but only 6 were in at a time. I get shot, I go, the next guy comes in, and you could get shot a total of 2 times. But my girlfriend said I didn't want to play that one because people kept coming out like holding their necks. Were you shooting people in the neck? Because like that's like the one area that might get exposed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't think so. And then what I realized was it was probably the 2 little kids that are like 3 feet tall because all they can do is shoot up.
Shoot up.
And so they're just hitting you in the neck.
Yeah, that's funny.
Those little kids were messing everybody up yesterday.
They're fearless. They were fearless.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody in the UK last week, and they said, with they have a lot of rules, a lot more rules over there, laws and stuff.
Yeah.
You have to have a license, and then to be able to get your license, you have to actually play on a field 3 times within 3 months.
No way.
Yeah. So when you first buy, and this was new to me when I was asking about it, when you first buy your airsoft gun over there, you go buy one, but since it's your first time, you don't have this UCARA, I think they call it, license, then it is the only option you have is to buy one of these guns that's painted, like half or more than half of the gun has to be painted some kind of bright color, either blue or yellow or some shit. And so that's what you start off with. So you have to play with that gun, a starter gun, or you can just do a rental. I guess that's what most of them do. They do rentals until they get their license. So they have to play 3 times in 3 months at this field, and then you can apply for your license at that field you play at. But he was talking about how there's not a whole lot of little kids out there because I guess there are restrictions and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, over here we don't have that, bro. Like, yeah, guys take their sons out there. They're like 8 and 9 years old, and he's like, "Oh, that is so cool,"
Yeah, it's super cool. It's like having a bunch of it's like having a bunch of Ewoks running around.
It really is.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're fearless and they're good. Like I remember, back when I started playing, I'd see little kids and I'd be like, I don't know, should I shoot? Destroy me? And I'm like, okay, kid, it's on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're kind of going light on them at first, because we had that at paintball as well. And guys would bring their sons. Well, I did the same thing. When Christian was old enough, I brought him. He was like, 10 years old or whatever. And he wanted to go with me. Actually, the first time he asked to go with me, he was probably 8, maybe 7. And I was like, bro, you don't want to go. It hurts. And he's like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, stand over there. We were in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I had a Tippmann 98. So he was probably like, I don't know, 30, 40 feet away. Well, I shot him in his tennis shoe, like on the side of his foot. And he cried for like 20 minutes. He was jumping around like, oh, that hurts. And of course,
not ready.
Yeah, he's not ready. So it was a couple years later, he came out with me. And then our younger sons came out too later on. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. And now they're all about it. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I've had one of my friends come in recently, bringing his like young son too, and the son seems a little bit apprehensive. I hope he's enjoying it. I hope the dad's not just dragging him along. But, I think they're both having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him. They were out there with us this past weekend, and he got up in it once or twice.
Okay, good.
I saw him. Yeah, he got up in there. There was one point where I was like, "You getting anybody?" He's like, "I just got somebody," and I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, you get those first games, you kind of get those jitters. I mean, I did anyway. Probably everybody does, but you go out there and you're like scared to get hit. You don't want to go get shot. You think it's gonna hurt. And then you get shot a few times, and you're like, "This isn't that bad." And then it's just like gung ho,
Then you just go running through a doorway without knowing what's in there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's fun for the younger kids when they're going to be afraid when they first get out there. They'll be nervous, just like anybody else. When you first start out. But once they get those couple kills, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is it."
Yeah, they're amped up.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they get that Call of Duty kind of jolt from it, where they've been playing video games for so long. Like, it's the same thing but better.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, and the cool thing too is they start building camaraderie at the end, because you go back, when the game's done, you start showing off your welts, and that's such a cool it's a rite of passage. It's kind of like a modern day rite of passage, that humans used to do way back, thousands of years ago. The 12-year-old or whatever had to go out hunting, with his dad or whatever, and, prove himself as a man. It's kind of the same thing. These guys come back and they're like, look, I got shot right here.
It's totally the same thing. Well, I think the cool thing too, it teaches really good communication skills under pressure.
Right.
I know it's not the same thing as the military, right? But for people that don't go in the military, I feel like it gives you at least some semblance of, okay, it's an intense situation where people are shooting projectiles at you. It's not going to kill you, so you don't have that same, stuff. But at least at some way, you're more prepared than the average person to be in an intense situation like that if you're playing these types of sports and you know how to communicate, right? Like I wasn't in the military. I could never do it, right? Like I know you in the military. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's something that can give you a little bit of a perspective on, what do these guys got to go through times a million? It just communication, teamwork, trusting people. Like I couldn't imagine. Like I'll be playing airsoft. John's behind me, and I'm like, watch my back, and then like I keep looking, making sure he's watching my back. I can't imagine that in a room.
Yeah, man. Like when we went to that mil sim, my first mil sim. I mean, there was this one part. It was like, I don't know. It was a bunch of us, and we were just trying to take this hill, and it was just basically fought for that hill all day, just crawling up the hill in the mud, grenades, loud noises, bullets everywhere. And I was just thinking, like, man, this is wild. Like, as intense as this is. I mean, there were tanks at that event, RPG. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Cool. And I was like, as intense as this is, man, I cannot imagine, real life combat, like how just crazy it's got to be, because that was pretty crazy what we did, and it wasn't even real, So I just can't imagine, man. And yeah, thanks for your service and all you've done.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I remember when I first got out of the military, I was reading, I read tons of books, and most of them were military type of books, novels and stuff. And a lot of them were the, the true stories or whatever. And Fields of Fire, when that book came out back, after the Vietnam War, it was real controversial because the guy that wrote it, I can't remember the author's name. I still have the book, actually. He was writing about his experience in Vietnam. And I think the movie Platoon, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but I think it was based off of that book, because it was the first kind of Vietnam movie that showed the bad side, It wasn't like, the war hero movie, that we were all used to with the World War II movies and the Korean War kind of stuff.
People that never get shot and never have to reload type situation.
Yeah. Like this showed the real gritty, and also just how sometimes you turn against each other in those stressful situations, and there's a lot of, like you hear those stories about Vietnam where they would frag their commanding officer.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because he was being a dumbass and getting their, all their buddies killed. So that I remember reading that book, and I was like so enthralled with it. And he talked about taking those hills in Vietnam and how pointless, and it was just like, the end result was just nothing, because they would just leave the hill. They would fight and fight for days on end, and lose so many guys right next to him, and all this kind of thing. And what you're talking about, John, crawling in the mud and shit going off and just, all kind of shit happening. And then they would just move to another hill. But I remember reading that going, Jesus, dude, this, like being in those kind of situations, you understand where these guys come back and they're like, it's hard to assimilate back into civilian life.
I bet. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, luckily it's just a simulation for us. We can go enjoy it and have fun with it.
Yeah, it's fun. I love. Well, that's what attracted me to paintball in the first place. I got out in '93. I didn't start playing paintball until '95, I think, and I played for quite a few years after that. But I missed the camaraderie from the military. Yeah. Now I had, I was focused on, we were having kids, and it was a whole different, experience and learning experience and stuff. But, and I was working a lot of overtime But I missed that camaraderie that we had in the military. And the other thing, like all the things we did, like the training every day, I missed that. I hated it when I was in. I'm saying, like, we bitch nonstop, but it was one of the things I missed, because that's what builds camaraderie, is going through that shit together.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think, looking at Airsoft, I think there's probably a lot of kids that play Airsoft. If you consider Airsoft a sport, right? Which it's a very active thing. I think it's a sport.
Yeah, I think
a lot of kids that don't get to play traditional sports, either for one reason or the other. A lot of kids miss out on the team building things. It's like you said, going through stuff together to build the camaraderie. Yeah. I think this is a good kind of like alternative sport for people to be able to go out and play. And it's it's not gender separated sport. Everybody's together from the get-go, right? So you even learn how to communicate with people of the opposite sex. Just it's a cool thing. It's a super cool thing to get out there and do that. So
yeah, and it's a level playing field for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like everyone. That's the other thing I like about it. When you play football, it's not a level playing field if you have an 8-year-old out there with 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
So
it's true. It's true.
Yeah. But when you go to Airsoft, now obviously you're going to have guys that have the Gucci gear or the pro gear sets or whatever.
Gucci gear.
Yeah.
Josh walking around out there.
I got the Gucci gear.
But it's still going to depend on their level of experience and how they use it.
Yeah.
So, the 8-year-old still has a chance, still has kind of a fighting chance to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. Example, that kid that shot me after I thought I cleared the room.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, I love that. That is really cool that, that you had that story there.
Yeah, it's funny too, because I had just touched the alien, like I was about to grab it, and he shot me, and my brain registered it, and I just didn't want to admit it. I just didn't want to admit that it happened, because fighting for like 15 minutes trying to get in there and get an alien, and I finally get in there, and I screwed it up because I didn't clear rooms, and that kid was just a master at hiding, and he wrecked me.
It's so small, man. They can hide anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're standing still, like in a fairly, shadowy area. Our eyes are built to pick up movement, really quickly.
Yeah.
So especially out of our peripheral. And but if he's standing there, not moving, that's perfect.
Not gonna see him.
Yeah. Yep.
And the kids that small, they don't even need a ghillie suit. You can just take a really nice camo blanket and just like put it over them like a ghost, like a cheap Halloween ghost. Cut some eye holes in it, and you just
What's your guys' next event you're going to? You guys playing next weekend too?
No, I'm not. I'm actually in another wedding this coming weekend.
Oh shit!
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Man, I got taxes for my job, so this is probably my last time playing for the next month and a half.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, tax man over here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you're probably balls to the wall from next week until April 15th or whatever, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So yesterday was my last hurrah. Glad I could go out.
Yeah, I think some of us are going to try to play sometime in March. My buddy Ben sent out the email asking for when's good for everybody to be able to play, so we might try to get there. I bet John shows up. I bet he comes.
You never know.
Calling out of work.
I mean, right. I might That's respond right. on the when's good and say after March 15th, because that's a deadline.
Yeah.
So, who knows? You may see me, but I might not should take pictures and videos and things that I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm working from home today, guys.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude. So speaking of the working from home thing, when I work from home, I do a good job of focusing on work.
Yeah,
but I was actually thinking about this before we were chatting, and I was wondering, John, same for you. Working from home, I do my work, I get it done, But when my lunch break hits, I usually go and like look at my YouTube channel. I usually I looked at Instagram before my Instagram got canned.
Yeah.
But like I would get on there and look. Yeah, I would be sitting there like between meetings and I'm like, can't wait for lunch. I want to see how many followers I got or how many views this video's got. I just think about it. It's just fun to see.
Yeah. I still check ours every day. I
Yeah.
mean, that's,
Me too.
I go in there and I look at all the things. I look at comments, try to respond back to, whoever, if somebody has so I'm always, and I'm also always reaching out to other channels, to like maybe do this or, see what they're doing and, keep in contact with a lot of people that way. So yeah, I'm always, as soon as I get home from work, that's the first thing I do. I come in here and check those. And I have it on my phone as well, but it's a lot easier. I cannot stand typing like anything longer than, oh bro, I'm telling you. These fingers ain't working like I see my buddy at work, he's just like you can hear the the keypad and it's just I'm like, God, I cannot do that on my phone. So fast. Yeah. I can type on the keyboard pretty quick, but not on my phone.
Yeah, I prefer keyboard myself as opposed to doing it on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You can always do the talk to text. That's nice.
Bro, I have a friend that does that all the time. And there's always one word in that sentence that does not make sense. I'm like, what the fuck is he saying?
Or it's the exact opposite of what you meant to say, right? Like,
yeah, for real.
And then the next message is sorry, talk to text.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I tried, I don't use it very often, but I was doing, I was laying in bed the other night and I wanted to write some notes for, like one of my next videos or something. I was like, oh, I don't feel like getting up and going down here and, because I have a Word document that I'll add notes to and stuff. And I have it on my phone as well. It's connected with OneDrive or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this. There's always that microphone there. I'm going to try it and see how good it is. I just never wanted to try it because I'm like, it's probably shit. I'm going to say like 2 sentences. I'm going to have to delete the whole fucking thing and just type it anyway. Yep. So it was really fucking accurate. I could not believe it. In fact, I'm talking to it and I'm like bullet points and stuff. And then I said something and my wife didn't realize I was using that. She thought I was typing. And she thought I was just talking out loud while I was, And so she said something and it put it in the middle of my sentence. I was like, what the fuck? I said, oh, you, she goes, oh, did I do that? It's like, yeah. So shut up. No.
You got... It's a good thing you caught it. Otherwise, you're like reading it off like a script. You just start reading off the grocery list or the chores told you to for the next day.
I know, right? Oh yeah. I'm gonna do that one time when we're talking about, when she's yelling at me about something. Mm-hmm. Doesn't happen very often. We actually we get along. We've been married 30 years, so we've had a lot of issues in the past. We're good now. So that happens very few times, but we'll get in, just gripe and shit. I told her I was going to record her one day, but I'm going to try that talk to text thing and see how it comes out.
Just let it
read it back to her.
Like, let me read back what you said to me right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of being married for so long and like the internet and stuff, I was watching before we got on the chat. I was just kind of killing some time, and I started watching prank videos, and it was husbands and wives pranking each other.
There's a lot of those.
I can't imagine how many divorces result in some of these pranks. Like sometimes it's like, pushed you down the steps. It's like, no, that's not a prank. What is wrong with you?
I know.
Look it up with your sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha. Yeah,
those are.
There was one I saw. It was this guy. He kind of like set the phone off to the side of his car, and his girlfriend gets in, and he was like, "Hey, I thought I told you to get ready." And she's like, "I am ready." And he's like, "No, I told you. Like, I want you to look nice." Like, he goes, "I do. Why are you being mean?" And he just kept going for a second until she like starts crying. He's like, "No, it's just a prank." And I'm like, this is not going to go well for you guys. For the next 8 months, you are in the crap house, and you are not You're not going to hear the end of this.
Yeah, go sleep on the couch. Not a prank. This is real.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way you could do it. I just imagine like if Danielle and I were to do that, it would start small and then eventually we just destroying each other's cars. Like the house would be on fire. And it would just be all passive aggressive stuff after a while. It would just escalate because we're both competitive people, and because she plays airsoft too, right?
Yeah.
And so she loves it. She loves playing airsoft. So I can just imagine if we pranked each other, they would just keep doing this until eventually it's just all out war.
So what you got to do is the best thing you can do is fill her mags before the game with .12s. Okay.
Going off, yeah.
They're going everywhere. My gun is so messed up.
I'm like, look, we'll do one on. It's a duel. I'll stand still. You stand still. Her shot goes wide.
Oh, that'd be funny.
No, man.
I'd watch that. You should do that.
Oh, shit, right?
I'll let you and Raven do it first, and then if it goes well, then I'll do it.
Fair enough. I'd love to do that to Raven.
They're gonna watch this and they're gonna do it to us. Is what's gonna happen.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
we're gonna be like, I could never.
we just messed up.
We did.
Well, look, you're gonna have to hide this from them until you're actually able to do it. But luckily, this video won't come out for you. Got like about 10 days before
Timer's on.
So I'll send you the date that this is going to come out because I didn't really plan a schedule originally, but since I've had so many people hit me back, especially in the UK, wanting to be on, I'm like, well, I'll just start a schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of releasing these podcasts. So now I know when to tell somebody
when they're going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
10 days, John. That's all we get.
Oh man, better enjoy it.
Yeah. It's like the movie The Ring, where you have to show somebody else the movie in 10 days or you die. Except for this, we got 10 days to put light ammo in some magazines.
Dude, when that movie came out, that was one of my favorite scary movies for a while.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know anything about it. I didn't watch the preview. We just watched it in a dark room with the sound turned up, and I loved it. My wife hates scary movies, but we were scrolling through movies the other night, and I was like, this one looks kind of cool. So we didn't read about it. We didn't watch the full preview. I just said, let's try it. And it was called Countdown. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
No, I haven't seen it.
So the premise is it's about an app that these kids download, teenagers download, where it tells you the time that the day that you're gonna die.
I saw a preview for this. Yeah.
And it was a little more scary than what we, or what she thought that it was going to be like. Because we kind of thought it was going to be like Final Destination kind of thing as it, as it started, and it started kind of leading into the movie. It was, she's like, oh yeah, okay, I can watch it, because she does not like scary movies. And it turned out to be a little more scary than that. So she was like, she's laying around like this. She's like, I was like, are you, because normally she falls asleep during movies. And I was like, you awake? Yes. And I said, okay, I'll just check. And she's like, I better not have nightmares tonight. It's your fault.
Of course it is.
Right?
Yeah.
I was laughing.
That's funny you brought up scary movies. I just texted John this morning about a scary movie called Brightburn. Have you heard of that one?
Sounds familiar. Maybe not. What is
it? It just hit Netflix. I saw it when it was in theaters, though. I told John, don't look it up if you haven't seen it, and if you're
you can't tell me now.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Yeah, don't tell me. No, I haven't seen it.
Watch it.
No,
just
the
go watch
audience
it.
is like, what is
Right,
this guy's got to tell us?
It's good. I don't know anybody that's seen it. Well, as long as you like scary movies, I don't know about anybody that's seen it that wasn't like, oh wow, that was cool, that was different. But it's good. I basically describe it. It's like a scary superhero movie.
Okay.
It's worth the watch. It's good.
I will watch that tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking of when you first said that was the what was that Will Smith movie? It's not new though. That was a couple years ago. Something called Bright or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
Bright. Yeah, that's
Bright.
what
That's
it
the name
was.
of it.
Wasn't it just called Bright? Yeah, and it was kind of like, was that like what was that? Was that like an alien race or something? That was
it was only an alien cop, or he was a cop with an alien or something.
Yeah,
it was an orc. He was an orc, is what he was.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like if magic times existed today, what would the world be like?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is different. Okay.
It's different.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm watching tonight then. Appreciate the suggestion. Hell yeah.
I hope you like it. If you like it, send me a message. If you don't like it, we'll probably never talk again.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, okay? Speaking of pranks, I'm going to tell my wife, hey, look, I found this really cool movie tonight, and we can watch it, and it's totally not scary. My buddy Gibbers was telling me about it. He said, you're good to go. It's not scary, so no problem.
Wonderful romantic comedy. There's puppies, flowers. I love it.
And then
she's going to be like,
hits the fan, it's
oh,
not
yeah.
your fault, it's my fault.
At least you won't be at me.
Exactly.
Or be mad at me. Hey,
pass the ball.
Hey, text him right now.
This was not my idea. It's all Gibbers. So.
She's like, give me your phone. I'm going to text him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So are you guys into, speaking of movies and stuff like that, are you guys into video games at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. I'm like behind the times. Like I just play older, well, not super old, but I play games that are not really like, mainstream or the best ones out at the time.
Like what do you like?
Well, I mean, right now, I guess I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 a lot. I mean, I guess Star Wars is pretty mainstream. I mean, but it's pretty old, and I just started playing it like a few months ago. So
yeah,
I think it came out in like
game.
2017 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of hooked on that at the moment. Prior to that, I think I was playing Battlefield 2 on the PlayStation 3 or something, or
hell yeah, that's a good game.
It's PS4, yeah.
Okay.
But I was playing that but that's a really old game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't really keep up with like what's popular or what's good in video games. I just kind of play whatever I enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm kicking around on 2 different zombie games right now. One of them's it's on Xbox. It's called Back 4 Blood.
Yep.
Have you played that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Left 4 Dead knockoff, but it's fun. I mean, it's just zombies rushing you. You get a special zombie every now and then. You get your buddies that you're playing with, and die. This is what happens.
Yes.
You're preparing for Battle Hack 2022. You're training.
Exactly. Get the emotional response down. And then I've got an Oculus as well, and I'm playing a game called After the Fall. And it's a zombie game, but it's a VR zombie game, so it's super cool. You got to reload the guns, you got to rack it.
Shit.
Yeah, it's super cool. You got a buddy that's run out of ammo. You can magazine, catch it, stick it in. It's super cool. It's super fun.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I don't have one. Christian has one of those Oculuses, and he was playing. God, I can't remember the name of this game. I played a ton of it, but on PC and on my Xbox, but I can't remember. It was one of these. It was where like a space game where you had like endless amount of planets and universes to go to.
No Man's Sky, probably.
Yes, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And we were playing. He showed me that on his Oculus, and he's like, "Oh, check this out." So I put it on. I about fell over. I was like, whoa, hold on. So once I got my bearings, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking cool. But I could watch him play it on his computer screen.
Yeah, you can see what he sees, right?
I could see everything he sees and what he's doing. And he has got the hand things, and it was so cool. It blew my mind. Like, I've been into video games for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I was just like blown away by the graphics and how in depth all the different, I mean, somebody has to program that game to work with these hand things instead of just a controller. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, holy shit, bro. There's so many moving your fingers and stuff in there. It was amazing.
It's crazy.
But I play some of the older games as well, John. Like right now I'm playing Just Cause 4. I haven't really played a lot of games in the last probably 2 months because I've been editing a lot. But before that, I was playing I played the new Halo. I play all the new Xbox games, that are like nostalgic like that. So Halo is probably one of the only games, and Gears of War, that I'll never skip a cutscene.
Yeah.
But some of the other ones I'll skip, But
Gears of War is my favorite shooter all time. Like I love that.
Shit.
I love that series. I love it.
I love it as well.
I always played PlayStation, so I never really got into Gears, but I know it was a big game. I did play the Halos. I mean, I had Xboxes. I can't remember the last Halo I played. It's been so long, but there was a brief time where I did have an Xbox and played probably maybe Halo 1, 2, and maybe 3. It's probably as far into Halo that I got.
Yeah.
I live. Epic Games is like 7 minutes. 7 minutes right over there. Like I could walk over there and just like bang on the door, tell them to give me a copy of Gears of War. But yeah, it's no man, I love it. We used to play Halo too. We used to have guys' nights where we would do it basically LAN. Everybody would
come those
to my
are
house,
great.
and you get like 15 guys in the same place, all playing on different TV stuff, just yelling at each other through the wall. I hate you. What do you? You suck.
Yeah, before online gaming, that's how we roll.
Yeah, for sure. I was telling my kids that, as they were growing up, because that's how I started. When I got in the military, I was playing paintball, and then I started getting into computers. Probably like 96, I built my own computer, and 97, 98, and started adding my own parts and stuff. I remember I got a Micron. I can't remember who they got bought out by years later, but I bought a Micron. I wanted the biggest desktop case you could get, because I wanted to jam a bunch of shit in there. And back then, most things were giant as shit. The power supply was huge. The hard drive was huge, all this stuff. But
your room's getting hot just because you turned the computer on.
I'm telling you, bro. So we used to do LAN parties as well. And we would have, 15, 20 of us. And we would go to a friend's house that where he lived in like a allotment. And they had like the party center house or whatever it's called, like in the middle by the pool, and you could rent it out. So we'd rent it out, and everybody chip in. So we'd rent it out for a whole day, for a whole 24 hours. So we'd get there like a Saturday afternoon, and we'd play till Sunday afternoon, all night, 24 hours.
Yeah.
From like noon to noon. We were playing the original Unreal Tournament, Counter-Strike, and Quake. And we would have tournaments like that. And, most of the guys were like, worked in that field, either the software end or the hardware end. So, or like networking and stuff. So they would go around and make sure everybody's computer had all the updates they needed, So it would take like a good hour, maybe an hour and a half to get everybody set up where there would be no glitches once we started the tournaments. But once you start the tournaments, bro, like it's fucking on, and you're this close to the computer screen, mouse going. We're drinking energy drinks. Now back then we were drinking this one called Balls. It was BAWLS. You remember that?
Never heard of that. I don't remember.
Well, this is before they made ephedra illegal. It had ephedra in it. So, bro, it's like a microdose of speed. Okay, so we're fucking and we're staring at the screen for so long. We by the end of the day Sunday, we've got blood blisters broken in our eyes. So it's you got it's like you look like a zombie with blood in your eyes. But it was intense. It was one of the most fun times I had with gaming before we were all able to get on internet, good connections or whatever. But yeah, that's how I started out.
Growing up, I had like an office style chair that has the arms here. But definitely when I was a kid, if you were in that chair, you were the one playing. And so it would be like me or my cousin or somebody else, right? And anytime you messed up that chair, you just beat the crap, and everybody's right-handed. So you're just hitting that right arm. And one day, and I had that chair since I was probably like 8 or 9. And then one day when I was in high school, my cousin came over and we were sitting there. I don't even remember what we were playing. Probably something stupid like Mario Kart, something you shouldn't even get upset about, right? And I remember sitting there beside him, and he just laid into it. And when he punched it, it broke, and then he fell out of the chair. Like he just
fell out of your chair laughing.
It was so funny. I was like, well, I guess the chair's done.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, when Christian, when he turned 21, we took him out to Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife took him out, and one of our friends that are our age, those two went as well. So we went out there, got him shit-faced, and then we came home. So he ate all this food there, wings and all this shit, and then we still had beer here. So we're still, and then we did a bunch of birthday shots of liquor, whiskey, different kinds of stuff. So, and he wasn't, an experienced drinker. So we're sitting out in the back, and his birthday's in August. So it was still warm, here. We had a fire going out in the back. We have those plastic kind of laid back chairs, that you buy. Yeah. They're pretty cheap, but you can sit in and, on your back porch or something. So we had a bunch of those sitting around. So we're all sitting in those. He's sitting there. His face starts turning white and green and shit. He's like,
he's not doing
so good. He goes to lean over, and he's a big dude. Christian is 6'1" and like 270 pounds. So he goes to lean over to throw up. Breaks the arm on the chair, the plastic chair, no. Falls in his own puke. No shit.
The worst.
And I'm going to tell you, I got pictures of all that shit.
Of course you did, yeah.
Dude, I'm standing there, I'm standing up on the deck, and I'm like, he's about to go, and I was like, I think he's about to throw up. I start snapping. So he goes to lean over. He went to lean over really fast and leaned on it really hard, and it just snapped, and it fell sideways. I said, "Oh my God, this is epic 21st birthday right there."
Dude, that reminds me. So, the Fold the Gap event, a bunch of us went. Not this last time, but a couple of years back. John, sadly, this was before I knew you. Otherwise, you could have witnessed it. But we were camping out at Fold the Gap, and you're just in this big field at night. So you just basically everybody's got their tent set up. Everybody's around, and we probably had 8 or 9 guys. That were in our little group, and the porta potties were super far away. So we just kind of, went to the woods right next to where we were camping, and everybody was kind of peeing in the same spot. Well, at one point, World War II Airsoft guy's little brother, he had ate something that didn't settle well with him. He had to throw up. So he ran over there and he threw up where we had been using the bathroom. So next morning, I didn't know this. Okay. I had no idea. Next morning, I woke up, put my flip-flops on. There's a little bit of dew on the grass, right? So I go over there, and I my motor skills weren't turned on yet, plus the grass was wet, nothing was right. And I took a step, tripped, flip-flop came off, and I stepped where everybody had been peeing, where he had puked, and I stepped in it, and I realized, I was like, this is puke. This is not. And so I was like dry heaving myself, and I was like, who threw up over here? Why did you throw up? And then when Joe told me it was his little brother, I don't know why, but in my mind, his puke was better than anybody else's puke.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
Exactly. My mind just rationalized. Oh, it's just a kid's puke. It's totally
puke,
Yeah. I was thinking it's totally different than these guys that I'm hanging out with puke. I don't know why my mind rationalized that, but I was like, that's not so bad. It's okay. Washed it off. Let's go.
We're good. We're good.
Chunks between your toes.
Exactly. I'm like, no big deal. Didn't know you ate corn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be coming up for sure.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna barf. It eased my stomach to know it was his vomit versus somebody else's. I don't know why.
The first apartment my wife and I were in when we got married, I was still in the military, and I was at Camp Pendleton, which is by Oceanside, California. And we got an apartment in Fallbrook, which is on the back side of it, like 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away. So we have a first floor apartment. It's really, just a 1-bedroom. And the people above us had a party one night. We're sitting here watching a movie on VHS, okay? High tech.
That's right.
And we're watching a movie, and we had, it's one of those where, in your living room, you got the sliding glass door. You have a tiny little porch area where you could barely fit like a grill. So we hear the party upstairs, no big deal. We just turn TV up, and because we had plenty of parties of our own. And all of a sudden, there's a slow part in the movie, and we hear this splash on our porch.
No.
I swear to God. I mean, just, you know, it sounded like somebody dumped, you know, bucket of water over the side with fish heads in it or something, and chunks and liquid. So I was like, what the hell? So I go out and I, you know, because I had those vertical blinds on the sliding glass doors, and I peek out and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh no.
I wasn't even mad because that had happened to me and my guys 100 times, you know, while I was in. So I was like, we'll wash it off tomorrow. She's like, what happened? I was like, they puked. She's like, oh my God, that's so gross.
Like, nah, not a big deal.
It's all right. Don't open the door. You won't smell it. It'll be fine.
You're like, it's probably just Joe's little brother. It's fine.
Oh, it's just a kid.
Yeah, it's
no
a
big
little
deal.
kid. It's fine. It was quite a lot. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, that's so gross. Fish heads.
Yeah, it's a fun way to describe when something like that happens. Like, yeah, it sounded like, my wife's like, I don't want to hear what it sounded like. No, I want to explain it to you. It sounded like somebody dumping a 5-gallon bucket of water with fish heads in it into the toilet. And she's like, ooh.
I didn't know.
Yeah. You're like, hey, this is Ralph Waldo Emerson level dictation of what happened here. I'm just giving you the best visual. I'm basically a poet here describing
Yeah, there you go.
Fish head poet.
There you go. Well, listen, man, it's been really cool to talk with you guys.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Enjoyed getting together with you.
Yeah, I was watching both y'all's videos with the cupcake thing, and I was cracking up. It was so fun to watch, and had a lot of funny parts and stuff. But the footage was really, really good.
Yeah. The camera, especially the drone camera, the 360 camera, those two things combined, it gives you great footage.
You had all these different angles that you guys cut to, so good job for editing.
Thank you.
You know, all those
thank
things
you.
for sure. It really made for an enjoyable video. You know, it was nice.
We'll try to keep it up. I'm glad you like it.
Thanks. Glad you enjoy it. We love hearing folks like our stuff. So we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
I'll say, even if there was only one person watching my videos, as long as they got joy out of them, I would like it. That being said, subscribe, smash that like button.
Smash.
Exactly.
Hit the like, subscribe to these guys. Yes.
2 different stations, Shot Tactics, Gibbers Plays Airsoft. Go look us up.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes. I'll tag you guys in the video for sure.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
You too,
yes,
man.
sir. Thank you.
All right, man.
Talk to you again
Until
soon.
next time.
And we'll save a cupcake for you.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I'm ready.
All right. See you later.
All right. See you guys.